Oh, what's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jarvis here. You are with me on my IG, my FB. So, what's up, IG? I see you over there, people on Instagram holding it down. I see the right assistant. I see it sees Element Six. I see you. What's up? What's going on with you? And what's up, talking about people over there on YouTube and Facebook? Man, I'm so happy to have every single one of you on here tonight. We have had some great topics. I brought a good friend of mine since the Seahawks won the Super Bowl the other night. You know what I'm saying? And I know some of you guys are arguing with me on this. If you watch the Super Bowl, you're like, no, it wasn't the Seahawks. It was the actual Los Angeles Rams. But listen, I played Madden, and on my Madden, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. So I'm giving a shout out to them. We're going to Disney World. You see my Disney cup. So cheers to them with my nice cup of mocha latte. Actually, it's a homemade, like kind of trying to be like a caramel macchiato or something. But whatever the case is, hey, tonight we're gonna have a great conversation. It's all about the emotions. It's part 20, and because we're still in the role of or still in the season of love. We're going to continue to talk about love, and tonight's conversation on love is that love is not gone. That's tonight's conversation. Love is not gone. That's so funny. I see some people hating on their Seahawks. Denial at its finest. That's right. That's right. They still won on Madden. That's all I gotta say is they won on Madden. As long as they win on Madden, I'm cool because that means I'm winning. But tonight we're gonna have a great conversation. I want to encourage you all to get involved in the conversation. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, I'm actually putting the link into the chat right now. When you come up with me on the link, you don't necessarily have to show your face. I can make it to where your camera is not on. So if you're one of those people who's like, oh, I'm not really comfortable being on camera, but I can let you hear my voice, then you can definitely do that. And I would love to have your voice. If you have any questions, if you have anything that you want to discuss, if there's anything that you would like to bring up about the topic, please feel free to put your questions and comments into the chat if you don't want to join live, or just join live and have the conversation with me. And I'll be more than happy then to answer those questions or do the best that I can to answer those questions. Now, one thing that I do want to challenge you on is I want you to know that my goal is to always be honest, open, and transparent. And so don't ask me something if you don't want to know the answer, because I'm gonna give you my best answer. That has nothing to do with anybody else. I'm going to always give you my best answer. Now, the with if you're on the Wisdom app, I know we've had some great guests that have tuned in off of the Wisdom app. And if you're on the Wisdom app and you want to jump up into the comments or jump up into the conversation, all you have to do is ask to join, and I will bring you up. I have no problem sharing this platform, and that's what we're here for. We're coaches and mentors, and we want to help people elevate their lives and go to the next level. And in helping them elevate their lives and go to the next level, why not get a bunch of different perspectives on what it is that we're talking about? So I want to give a big shout out to everybody who's on here, because you are tuned in and we are about to take this to the next level. And tonight's topic, like I said, is love is not gone. And I know that some people are like, well, what do you mean love is not gone? Well, I'm going to explain it to you. I had a great conversation earlier today with my team, and we were talking, and they were just kind of sharing with me, their views on Valentine's Day, and how the hormones were high in the air yesterday, and the nostalgia was there, and there was all this emotion running around, and they were just sharing with me some of the conversations that people were having with them, which kind of caused me to chuckle and sit back, and a few things where I kind of crossed my hands. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Because there's people who dealt with a slew of emotions. You have people who were single, and I'm starting to get the understanding of how this all works. So for single people, males and females, they have like the day before Valentine's Day, they call it like a galentine. And that galentine is for them to celebrate each other, and hopefully for singles to link, singles to match, to be able to gain somebody to carry with them into the Valentine's Day. Now, when you get into Valentine's Day is supposed to be the day of love, like the one day that is centered around love, right? And then once you get off of Valentine's Day and you roll into the day after Valentine's Day, and I just learned this today, you guys, and this really cracked me up. I was a little bit astonished when I found out, but I heard that today is, I think they call it Side Piece Day or or something like that. Because they want to make sure that people understand. I'm like, well, dang, why they call it Side Piece Day? Well, because it's the day when everything's cheaper and you can just, you put out. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. How come I never knew that? Nobody ever told me that. And I'm chuckling at all of this. But in this conversation, they began to share with me, and it wasn't and I can honestly say that they had not seen my lives, and that's the thing I love about my team, is that they're so transparent with me that they'll share like, hey, I watched, it was great, da 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 da. And they were just saying like, nah, I hadn't really seen your lives, not since Friday. And then, and looking at the not since Friday, they were sharing with me that the just the things that people went through, the emotions that their friends were dealing with. And my team is female heavy. I got two guys, amazing guys on my team, and then I have three, one, two, three, four ladies who are just absolute geniuses at what they do, and they bring that heat, right? But they're very transparent. Like the whole team is like very transparent. They bring it, and in the conversations, one of the things that came up was the people who were fighting back. Like, I'm not gonna look at social media. I'm not going on IG today. No, and it was like, well, why not? Because people are celebrating Valentine's Day, and that's kind of where I started off at the beginning of my talking about Valentine's Day. I've had people ask me, like, why don't you believe in Valentine's Day? And it's not that I don't believe in Valentine's Day, it's that I don't believe in the propaganda that builds up to what Valentine's Day is. And finding out that we have three special days that have been deemed National Galentine's Day, National Valentine's Day, National Side Piece Day, that all fit in this circle. All of those days were put together to make money for this entire weekend. Now, that does not mean, and this is one thing that I want to definitely make sure that people understand, it does not mean that there is not real and genuine love that is spread on Valentine's Day. What it does tell me is that, our emotions are contagious, right? The way that we feel is contagious. There are those people that are out here, myself included, who we pretty much have like a hard stance on how we feel, knowing that we want love 365 days a year. And every fourth year, we want 366 days a year. So why don't we just make this simple and say we want love 24/7? You know what that is? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we don't miss any of them, whether it's 364, 365, 366. It doesn't matter. We get love every single day. And even with the people with those thoughts, and I will share, even with me, there is you feel the pressure of what's out in the world. I can think about myself walking into Kroger yesterday and feeling the pressure that other people, like, I'm sensing their energy, right? Like they're putting this off. Remember, we talked about this a while back. Emotions are contagious. So although I already had my stance and I'm like, hey, hey, it's a day of love. I'm going to show love to everybody. I'm going to call this person. I'm going to call that person. I'm going to reach out to this person. There's an unspoken, energy that's out here because we all have our minds geared towards love. And it's crazy because it shows me the power of unity. Like, on Valentine's Day, almost everybody was thinking about something that had to do with love, because we have been trained from the time that we were children to embrace Valentine's Day as a day of love, a day of giving gifts of love, a day of sending things and giving things to the people that you care about, or that person that you care about, the special person. And it's not even about that legitimate familiar love, that family love. It's about the erotic love, the eros love. That's what the day is centered around. It's centered around that love, not the platonic love, not the love where we're going to laugh and joke and play, the lotus love, not the storge love, not any of those other loves, but it's centered around eros love, an erotic love. And because it's centered around an erotic love, there's an emotion and there's a feeling that people start to feel as you go out into the public, as you're watching TV, as you're listening. Like, we all felt it yesterday. If you're somebody who's watching this and you're like, no, I didn't feel any of that yesterday, then I'm curious as to what you actually felt. I can almost guarantee you that you felt something yesterday. There was a heightened awareness to what people were doing, what wasn't happening, what was happening, whether it's receiving flowers or receiving candies, whether it's receiving a card or receiving a letter, whatever the case is, there were levels of emotions that we all felt on yesterday. Some people closed themselves in. Some people shut the door. Some people were like, man, I'm not going to face the world today, because they felt it. As human beings, we felt this contagion called love that was circulating through the air yesterday. And whether it was real and genuine, or whether it was just kind of over exaggerated and pressured and propagandized, I'm gonna make that a word now, into the atmosphere, it was there. 90 to 99% of the people in the world were thinking about love yesterday. Anyone who knew that it was supposed to be Valentine's Day was celebrating somewhere in their subconscious mind the fact that it was a day of love, and we felt that. Now, the title of tonight, Love Is Not Gone, is intentional because last night I talked about love is, and I broke down what love is. And I'll go through it again really quickly because I want to talk about what love is. And I want to help you understand that just because yesterday is gone, it doesn't mean that we stop loving today. My challenge to each and every one of you, if you are experiencing eros love, if you are experiencing that love where you it's a romantic, erotic, I want this person in my life type of a love, my challenge to you is not just to embrace what love is, but don't allow yourself to sit and stay in the space where love only exists on one day, or you measure the person who you say that you love based off of the experiences of one day, right? You have to be, one person that I called yesterday, it was his birthday. And he just, because his birthday is on the 14th, he approaches it differently. Matter of fact, I have two friends whose birthdays are on the 14th, and they approach it totally differently. Like they don't experience the same thing as everybody else because it's their day. It's like, yo, it's my birthday. Then I have friends who they got married on Valentine's Day, and so they experience it differently. And I was able to talk to a couple of them yesterday, and I'm noticing that they're experiencing this thing on different levels. But then there are those of us out here who we don't have any level of significance to that particular day. It's not an anniversary. It's just the day that is on the calendar that we have known almost our entire lives, the majority of our lives, that this is the day where we celebrate love, and we look for love on that day. Now, here's the other side to that. When we look for love on that day, I don't know if you remember, I said the day before that I was like, I can guarantee you that there's people who are going to be posting pictures. Some of those people are going to buy themselves flowers. Some of those people are going to buy themselves balloons because they're keeping up with the trend, the trendy thing. And then they're posting these pictures. I saw a lot of people post things, and I know they ain't had no Valentine. You know what I'm saying? Like, they bought it for yourself. And I'm not hating on that. But if we get to the space where we have to put on to make the rest of the world feel like we didn't miss out on this day, then what is that really saying about the day? Because that same intensity, that same level of intensity, that same level of passion behind reaching and doing what we do on the day of the 14th, where we celebrate love, can we carry that same level of passion on the 15th? Can we carry that same level of passion on the 16th? Can we carry that same level of passion on the 17th, the 18th, the 19th? Can we carry it all 28 days of February? Matter of fact, not just all 28 days of February, but can we carry it all 31 days of January? Can we carry it all 31 days or 30 days of May, 31 days or 30 days of March, 31 days of May? Whatever the case is, you know how it goes, right? Can we carry it through all of these months to where it hits 365 days or 366 days on a leap year? Can we have that same level of passion? Just imagine what your life would be like if you pursued love and you pursued the acts of love on January 14th, March 14th, April 14th, May 14th. You see where I'm going with this, right? June 14th, July 14th, August 14th, September 14th, October 14th, November 14th, and December 14th. What if on the 14th of every month, you pursued love with that same level of conviction and passion? What if? What if you pursued love or the acts of love with that same intensity just any other day of the year or every day? That's what I mean when I say love is not gone. Just because the 14th has gone and it's passed away, right? Does that mean that we stop loving each other? Does that mean that we stop celebrating each other? Does that mean that we stop buying gifts for each other and taking each other out to eat and leaving little notes for each other? Does it mean that we stop wanting to embrace and hug and hold each other? Does it mean that we stop wanting to kiss each other? Does it mean that we stop wanting to let each other know how much we love each other and how much we care about each other? Is that what that means? Because I submit to you that in some people's minds, that's exactly what that means. that it'll be just an ordinary, everyday kind of love any other day of the year. But on the 14th of January or February, they're going to crank it up to the next level. And now all of a sudden, I'm going to show you a new level, a new height of romance, a new level, a new height of erotica, a new level, a new height of my emotions, because this is what the world is calling for. That's the challenge, right? That's where we see it. And I want to also submit to you guys that love is not gone. It's not. Love is right there with us. It's waiting with us. It's talking with us. It's experiencing life with us every single day. Every single day. In my heart and the way that I operate, I want my woman to know that I love her more today than I did yesterday. And I'm going to love her more tomorrow than I do today, because that's the way love goes. I just wrote a song. Thank you, Janet Jackson. That's the way. 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 That's the way love goes. Y'all know what song I'm talking about. But I'm just saying that's the way love should be. As I quit playing around, because I want to keep this thing going. I just needed to give you guys a nice little a nice little what's the word I'm looking for? Interlude, so to speak. So let me go ahead and I want to make sure that I read for you guys again what love is, right? And in reading what love is, I'm going to explain to you, not as deep as I did yesterday, the different parts of love. I just want to read again what love is, what love isn't, and then I want to explain to you why love exists on the 15th through the whole other 365 days of the year, 364 days of the year, without the 14th of February in there. My challenge to every single one of you is I'm challenging you to not just depend on the acts of love that you were pursuing on yesterday, but what acts of love can you pursue today? What acts of love can you pursue tomorrow? What acts of love can you pursue the following day? What are you going to do next week to show the person that you say you love that you love them? Because quite honestly, there are some people that somebody reached out to you yesterday because they knew that emotionally you were going to be in a very suppressed state, because they felt as though you were alone. They felt as though you were single. They felt as though you had nobody there. And they took advantage of that, and they were able to find a way in and give you an opportunity to experience an emotional encounter with them. Whether it was a physical encounter or it was just an emotional encounter, they gave you the opportunity to experience that with them, because yesterday was the best day to take advantage of that with the person that you were interested in. And that's unfortunate, because it's a setup, right? It's a setup, because now after things have happened and after that day is gone, you may not get that same level of intensity. The representative showed up yesterday. Did the person show up? If the person showed up because it was real and genuine love. And that person is the real person who says, hey, I love you. Hey, I care about you. It's the person who, like, when times are rough, they're going to stand with you and they're going to stand for you. It's the person that when things get confusing and weird, that they're not going to just give up on you. They're going to be around. It's the person that it's not a fair weather thing, right? It's the person that's going to be consistent, even in their inconsistencies. And you're probably thinking like, well, what in the world? None of this is. Yes, it is. Let's go ahead and go back and read what love isn't, and then read what love is, and then let me go in and continue to elaborate on why I'm saying love is not gone. All right, love doesn't just come and go. It's like here today, gone tomorrow. No, love is forever, y'all. It's forever. It may change its style. It may change its form. It may go from erotic to being philia, which is brotherly, sisterly love, platonic love. It may go from philia to erotic to eros love. It may, either way, it's always going to be there. But the one that's going to always stay consistent, it's going to always be there, is agape love, which is unconditional love. So I'm going to read this to you. I'm not going to spend much time on it. I'm just going to read through it once and give you my explanation really quickly on it. And then we're going to go forward. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to jump in on the conversation and just share your thoughts on it, please feel free to do so. All right. So this is in the amplified version of a book that is a bestseller. Yes. And this was written by a great author. His name is Paul. This book is called the Bible, and it's 1 Corinthians 13. And I'm going to read verse 1 through 8. Now, if just so that I can keep you in tune, if I can quote or I can speak just as our former president 45 says, it is in 1 Corinthians 13. Okay. All right. So it says, if I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, but I have not love for others, growing out of God's love for me, then I have become only a noisy gong and a clanging cymbal, just an annoying distraction. And if I have the gift of prophecy and I speak a new message from God to the people and understand all of the mysteries of the world and processes and all the knowledge, and if I have all of the sufficient faith that I need so I can remove mountains, but do not have love, reaching out to others, I'm nothing. If I give all my possessions to feed the poor, and if I surrender my body to be burned, but do not have love, it doesn't mean anything at all. So basically, just, and I said this yesterday, but I'm gonna give it to you really quickly today because I want to carry on and go in and keep talking about this. And what it's saying is like, yo, if I give you all the gifts in the world, but I don't have love for you, it don't matter. If I have the nicest house and nicest cars, but I don't have love, it doesn't matter. If I have the best job or the highest position, but I don't have love for others, nothing matters. If I put myself out there and embarrass myself, but I don't have love, and I say that I'm doing it in the name of love, but there's no love, it does not matter, right? That's basically what that says. Now, going on, this is what, let me get into this. This is where we start talking about what love actually does. And this is why I'm letting you know love is not gone. It says, love endures with patience and serenity. Love is kind and thoughtful and is not jealous or envious. Love does not brag and is not proud or arrogant. It's not rude and it's not self-seeking. It's not provoked nor overly sensitive and easily angered. It does not take into account a wrong thing endured. It does not rejoice at injustice, but rejoices with truth when right and truth prevail. Love bears all things, regardless of what comes. It believes all things, looking for the best in each and every single one. Hopes for all things, remaining steadfast during difficult times, and endures all things without weakening. The big point, love never fails. It never ends, never fades. So that right there is love, right? So now let's get back into this. Love is not gone. And everything that I just read to you right there and what love is that what you were able to experience yesterday? Is that what you were able to experience the day before? What made yesterday different than today, other than it was the 14th of February and we call it Valentine's Day? Did it stop at midnight last night? I've talked to people today and their mindset is different today than it was yesterday. And this is not people that are close to me. This is just people in general that, I talked to somebody in the store today. I guess I can say my team is close to me, but even them, they were sharing with me about how their friends are thinking differently today than what they were thinking yesterday. As a matter of fact, that was kind of why I made the decision to go ahead and have this as the topic tonight, because we were talking about it. They're like, yo, people are dealing with the aftermath. They're either recovering or recouping, one of the two, because their minds, their hormones, their endorphins were like on 10 yesterday, and then today it's like, okay, back to a normal day. But I submit to you that that's not love. That's an event. Yesterday was an event. And doggone it, I'm going to create an event, and I'm going to do the best I can to create an event at other times during the year that blow what Valentine's Day could have ever been out of the water, literally. And I challenge you, men and women that are in relationships, that are in marriages, find other days outside of your anniversary, outside of your, your birthdays, where you celebrate each other, just because love is not gone. Okay. And right now I'm referring to that erotic love. All right. Eros love. Love is not gone. We have the ability to obtain and carry all these different pieces of love. There's a song that was out back in the day. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. Back in the day, that's what the world needs. It's love, sweet love. If people operated with a mentality of love, right? Just imagine what the environments would be in your workspace. Imagine what the environments would be in your teams. Imagine what the environments would be in your churches and in your organizations. Imagine what the environments would be when you're around your friends. If you treated all of your friends with unconditional love. And unconditional love, we just read what it is. I don't have to go back and tell you what it is. But those are all. You want to know how to operate and act in a relationship? That tells you right there. Boom, 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 boom. Somebody gave me that scripture. I didn't even know it was a scripture. I thought they wrote me a poem. They gave it to me. I was like 25, I think. I was about 25, and they gave it to me. And they gave it to me on a picture, and I still have it. And I remember reading. I was like, "Yo, I love this poem. This is dope. I'm keeping this." And then all of a sudden, I look at the bottom, and it says 1 Corinthians. Oh, hold on. Let me get my Trump. I'm sorry. I should have said his name. 1 Corinthians 13. Let me quit. Let me stop because I don't need nobody like trolling me talking about they coming for me. All right. So, anyways, 1 Corinthians 13 was at the bottom, and I was like, "Yo, this is in the Bible." So I go and I look it up, and I'm like, "Yo, this really does talk about love. This is telling me what love is." And I started to pattern the way that I see, my woman in that type of framework. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is, and I'm just like, yo, all of these things just line up. Then I started to frame the way that I looked at my friends in that same framework. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not puffed up. Like I'm looking at this, right? Then I turn and I start looking at my employees, right? The people who work for me. And I'm looking at them with that same framework. And as I'm looking at them with that same framework, I'm seeing love is patient, love is kind, love is, and I'm going through the list of these things. Then I start, as I'm working with students, and I'm looking at the students with that same framework. If I'm telling these students, hey, I love you, I got your back, I got to see that I'm patient, I'm kind, I endure all things. I'm not going to be puffed up and haughty, and basically that just means prideful when I'm looking down on them. I'm actually going to serve them and do for them instead of making them do on their own. Like there's ways to do this thing, looking out for each other. Then I start looking at it and I'm like, yo, my teams of volunteers, I got to look at them like this. Then I look at it even further and I'm like, yo, this is how we all should be looking at each other. A few lives back, I talked about creating a companionate atmosphere. And what a companionate atmosphere is like, it's like creating your tribe. Everybody catches everybody's back. Everybody is there for the next person. All of these are things that are actions of love. Actions of love. If you can exude patience and serenity, then yes, you're acting in love. If you can exude understanding and looking for the best in a situation, those are actions of love. So love is not hinged on February 14th, you all. It's not. I thank God for February 14th because it's a day that it's pushing everybody to reflect back into love. We have times of the year that tap into the heart. Somebody told me once that the people who have the highest rates of suicide during the winter months because it gets gloomy, and there's family and giving and all this other stuff, right? That's not necessarily the case. It's not. There are a lot, but it's not necessarily the case. I actually looked it up, and statistically speaking, the highest rates of suicide happen during the summertime when people are traveling, when it's hot, and people are more apt to get out of the house because now you're seeing more, and as you're seeing more, you're starting to miss this thing in your heart called love, feeling like you don't have love the same way that somebody else has love. Now, the craziest thing is the one time of the year outside of that 3 month span, 4 month span of summer months, right? Where where that rate goes up. The one other time of the year where people's emotions are spiked that exact same way, like what would take the course of 3 months, is February 14th. And that's challenging because that means that people are hinging what they believe love to be in that one day. And it's not in that one day. Love is today. Love is tomorrow. Seriously. It's today, it's tomorrow. Now, if you're a parent and you're watching this, then you understand unconditional love. And you may be like, well, no, I don't. Because these kids, they bad. They get on my nerve. No, you understand unconditional love. Because there's nothing that your child can do to you that would stop you from loving your child. You may get angry at what they do, but you're going, let somebody else come up and try to do something to your child. You coming for them. I have seen parents where I know their child was wrong. And that parent comes up and they will defend that child and they will stand up for that child and they will fight tooth and nail like that child didn't do nothing wrong. And then when they get home, they'll love up on that child and they'll be like, why did you do what you did? Not that they don't know that the child did wrong, but they will not let somebody else come for their child. As parents, your child is going to, they make mistakes, your children make mistakes, and you love them through it. As parents, your children don't listen and you love them through it. As parents, your children do great things and you love them through it. As parents, your children have great accomplishments and you love them through it. As parents, your children disobey you and you love them through it. As parents, your children break your favorite vase, break your favorite TV, lose your favorite watch, break your, they do things that get under your skin, yet and still you love them through it. That is unconditional love. You have the ability to tame the way that you feel in your emotions and then resurface and galvanize this feeling called love to let them know that everything's going to be all right. We're going to learn through this. We're going to grow through this together. I'm sorry that you're in this situation. You made the decision and that's why you're at where you're at, but we're going to get through this. Oh, I'm sorry that you got locked up. I hate that you're in behind bars. I love you. I'm here for you. We're going to be here when you get out. I don't agree with what you did, but I love you. Like, I've seen it on every level. That's unconditional love. Now, if we can take that thought process of unconditional love and then we can turn and we can put that into our relationships, because in our relationships, unconditional love is necessary, then we would communicate better. We would follow we would be able to handle when each other make mistakes and we folly, right? One thing that I'm very intentional on is not letting my emotions get so out of whack in my relationships so that to where when we're talking that things just go haywire and they're all gone and I'm just like, whoa, like, because if, and this is how I look at it, you all, if two people say that they love each other and if two people want to communicate, let's say that two people are walking side by side and they both trip at the same time. Guess what? Ain't nobody there to catch the other one and they both fall flat on their face and they're both embarrassed. But if the two people are walking and one person trips and the other person is there to catch them, they can keep the other person from falling on their face and they're a sturdy, steadfast ground to hold them up. Now, let me take that and flip that back into a relationship. If you're in a relationship with somebody and when you guys have disagreements, you're both yelling at each other and you're throwing things around, I'm going to tell you now, that's a toxic situation. I've heard people tell me, oh, well, this is just how we communicate. And I'm like, well, let me know how well that goes for you. And it never fails, whether it's 3 months, 3 years, they come back and they're like, we need to change our communication. This just ain't working. Yeah, I agree with you. Because what happens is when two people trip, both people fall. But when one person trips and the other person stays sturdy, then they can be there to be the even keel, the balance for what's happening and catch them. It doesn't mean that the person who's being the even keel isn't feeling those things. It just means that they've kind of mastered a way to say, hey, I'm going to stay right here in this moment and I'm with you. I got you. Even if they're wrong, even if they're right, it doesn't matter. I got you. That is love. That is an act of love. Remember what I said a few days ago. And if you weren't on, I'm going to say it again. Love is not an emotion, okay? Love is an action. Love, the action, is the seed that's planted in the ground. And every time there's an action that's produced, it creates growth in this seed. And so every action that you do of love, whether it's listening, whether it's paying attention, whether it's enduring something, whether it's showing patience, whether it's exhorting the person that you love, patting them on the back, celebrating them, whether it's giving hugs, giving kisses, whether it's communication and just saying, hey, this is what it is, whether it's forgiveness or not, whatever the case is, whatever that act of love is, it causes this tree of love to grow that produces fruit. Now, the emotion that you feel is the fruit, because once you get to that emotion place and you're feeling, the emotion of love, that emotion of love will compel you to then start acting in love and start giving action. And as you start to give action, that starts planting more seeds. Now, I want you to know this goes much further than your personal relationships. This goes into your work relationships. This goes into your family relationships. This goes into business relationships. This goes into networking relationships, right? This goes into whether, if you're dealing with a team of volunteers or if you're dealing with a team of paid workers. This goes in everything that we do in life. If our leaders in the world could wrap their mind around the concept of acts of love versus just being hung up on the emotions of love, I guarantee you there'll be more peace. I guarantee you that the conversations and the talks would go a lot smoother because now there's a level of understanding because love is understanding. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is thoughtful, right? All of these things are acts of love. Love exudes forgiveness. Because if you hold on to unforgiveness, that creates anger and it hurts hate. Or yeah, it creates anger and it hurts hate, meaning like it brings it all in. It brings it. It's like having a bunch of cattle out in the field and you like herd them in, you bring them all in. Yeah, that's what happens. And I challenge each and every one of you to sit and ask yourselves, am I going to have the same level of intensity in love today as I did yesterday? Ask yourself that. And if you're answering, oh, yes, I do, then I need you to take it a step further, right? I need you to get to the boiling point. Because if you say, yes, I can carry the same level of passion and intensity and compassion as I did on yesterday, on February 14th, where it concerns love, then that means that you're doing the bare minimum if you can carry that same level of love today. You want to get to a space where you love more and more and more with each day that comes. And it's possible. I'm telling you now, it's possible. If you are a parent, then you know it's possible. You love your children more today than you did when they were first born. When they were first born, you're like, oh my gosh, this beautiful little angel. They turn 1 year old. Oh my gosh, you've experienced some things with them. And the reason why I'm saying this is because every year that passes, there's more experience and more experience. Experience equates to deeper levels of love because it equates to deeper levels of understanding. You get to see their flaws. You get to see their gifts, their talents. You get to see everything about them. Now let's take that and let's put that into our work environment. Let's create this companionate atmosphere of love. Somebody asked me the other day, how do you create a companionate atmosphere of love? I heard you say it a couple of times. How do you create it? Well, this is a great way to create it. You find out who, everybody on your team, find out when their birthdays are. This is something simple. Find out when their birthdays are. And when you find out when their birthdays are, when that person's birthday comes up, you celebrate them. You send the blast email. You don't got to give their age. Today, big news. Happy birthday to Sam. Today's his birthday. Help me celebrate Sam. Happy birthday, Sam. Make a big deal out of it. That is going to cause his endorphins to fire. That is going to create an environment in the workspace where people are looking forward to their birthdays coming. You're celebrating them, right? You're creating moments. It's called The Power of Moments. There's a book that's out about it as well called The Power of Moments. I don't remember exactly the author's name, but that's it. Another way to continue to create this companionate atmosphere is as a boss, as a leader, you sit down with your team and you just completely have a conversation. Hey, listen, on our team, these are the things that we do. We catch each other's back. We don't gossip on our team. We are looking to win the big deal, but we can't win the big deal by ourselves. We win the big deal together. We celebrate each other's victories. You know what I mean? And when one person's down, we're all down, but it's okay because if that one person is the only person that's down, then we're all still winning because we can help them get better. Like you set the atmosphere, you're the thermostat, you set the temperature. The way that you create this companionate atmosphere of love, this companionate love, this I got your back type of atmosphere in your team is you celebrate when team members join with other team members to get a project done. You call out when team members shout out another team member. You help them understand the importance of celebrating each other and not just help them understand the importance of celebrating each other, but show them what happens when you work together and you accomplish the goal. I used to love for everybody on my team to get their bonuses. I used to love it. The same thing, and I'm telling you this, a companionate love atmosphere, will let me help you out. Some of you are afraid of the word love, companionate like. One of the things that I remember as I was working at Hertz, one of the things that we put in the training was to like everyone unconditionally because HR was afraid to say love everybody unconditionally. Like every single customer unconditionally. It's a 4-letter L word, y'all. LOVE, LIKE, right? That's a way to carry this. Like I said, love is not gone into the work environment. You know the team that you have, the people that are around you, the family members, the workers. Pay attention to what's going on in your team's lives and actually show that you care. When you have one-on-one calls with them, talk to them and just say, hey, how are things going with little Susie? I know last time you talked, you said she was going to get her braces tightened. Is her jaw still sore? You're having a conversation. That same thing rolls over into business relationships. You don't have to say love, but you basically you show support. All of these things are components of love: showing support, showing genuine care, asking questions about people's mental health, and genuinely being concerned with like how their mental health is doing, right? um all of anything that you can think of that we call acts of random kindness are all acts of love, every single one of them. And it's not love as in you trying to be a part of somebody's life. It's love as in you showing the action of love. And that's why it sparks something on the inside of the other person that causes these endorphins to fire, causes their prefrontal lobe to light up, causes the executive part of their brain to go ahead and be like, yo, we're good. That's what happens when you have these acts of random kindness, because they are acts of love. As a world, we've just begun to call them acts of random kindness because for some reason, not everybody is comfortable with receiving the love piece of it. And that's okay. That's a part of just this, our world. But I'm challenging you, each and every one of you that are under the sound of my voice, to change your environment. Don't let February 14th be the only day that you're wrapped up in wanting to show love. Yes, I understand. Yesterday was not about going out and hanging door hangers on people's doors, or going out and feeding the homeless, or going out. It was about me, and you. That Eros kind of love. That's what it was, and that's okay. But carry that love more than on February 14th. I posted something yesterday that said 360 Happy Valentine year, 365 days of love. Hey, go ahead and show 365 days of love. When you share and you show love to others, it does something for you as well. See, listen, think about when a seed is planted by the farmer. The farmer always reaps the fruit, right? So if you plant those seeds of love, whether it's the platonic love, whether it's the family love, whether it's the playful love, whether it's self-love, whether it's the unconditional love, agape love, even the eros love, when you make those deposits, you're going to be the one who's going to get the withdrawals of that fruit that grows from it. And it may not be from that actual person right then and there in that moment. However, it is going to come back to you, because what you give out is going to come back to you. I'll say it again. What you give out is going to come back to you. So if you're experiencing things now and you're just like, man, I don't understand why I'm experiencing this, just pause and think about it and say, okay, did I do something at some point where I put this out and now it's coming back to me? Because if not, then that means it's weeds that's growing in your garden. You got to just uproot it and be like, nah, this isn't even. And you just clear that stuff out. All right. But if it is, then you be like, okay, I understand. And you still treat it like weeds in the garden and you clear that stuff out. Plain and simple. Sometimes you plant the wrong thing and that's okay. But I challenge each and every one of you to love more today than you did on yesterday, and love more tomorrow than you do on today. Be intentional with it. And if you're not even in a relationship, then I challenge you to treat it as self-love. As a matter of fact, I want every single one of you to say this with me. I love me more today than I did yesterday. Nah, don't just look at me. I mean, y'all, some of y'all are looking at me, some of you are listening to me, and you didn't say it. Yeah, I'm talking to you. I need you to say this. Repeat after me. I love me more today than I did yesterday. Quit being stubborn, doggone it. And I know there's some of you that did say it, but I need you to say it. And there's a reason why I say it, because when we say things and we hear ourselves say it, it refortifies our inner being. Listen, you're three parts, you all. You are a spirit, you live in a body, and you have a soul. That's the three parts of who you are. And your soul is made up of your mind, your will, and your emotions. Okay? And if you can speak to yourself out of your verbal mouth, then what you're doing is you're planting seeds on the inner self of you, which is your spirit and soul. And that is going to grow that tree of love in your own heart. And that's going to induce your emotions to be at a place where you need it to be. So what I need from you, and I see it popping up over here. Matter of fact, I see people typing it in on the chat. Yes, do that for me, because I'm seeing it pop up and I love it. Okay. I see I love me more today than I did yesterday. That's right. Go ahead and put it in the chat. I see it. I love me more today than I did yesterday. I love it. And I love Bree, thank you so much, because that's exactly where I was going with it, is I was taking it to the next level. I need you and I want you all to say this: I love me more today than I did yesterday. Put it in the chat. And then follow that up and say this: I love me more. I'm going to love me more tomorrow than I do today. I'm going to say it again. I love me more today than I did yesterday. And I'm going to love me more tomorrow than I do today. Now that you've said that out of your mouth, you have heard you. You have promised those words to you. Whenever we speak something out into the atmosphere, you say something, it's got a responsibility to come back to you. Every time we say something out of our mouths, we put something out there in the atmosphere and it comes back to us, people. Hear what I'm saying? You say it, you've given it an assignment, and it's coming back to you. So I need each and every one of you, starting, if some of you do it tonight, some of you do it as soon as we get off the phone. I appreciate you guys putting it in the chat and letting it be known. Like, put it out there, say it. Yeah. Go ahead and make sure that when you get the chance, and I would do this, I challenge, matter of fact, I have 1, 2, 3, I got about 14 days left, just about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, I got 14 days left until the end of my 90-day challenge. And with that 14 days left that I have to the end of my 90-day challenge, I'm challenging you. I'm challenging you to go do something. You see my shirt, right? Matter of fact, let me stand up so some of y'all can see it. Go do something. You can absolutely get this off of jarvishenderson.com. So go get your hoodie now. But I'm challenging you, and those of you that are on the Wisdom app, I know that you can't see me, but I want you to hear me. I'm challenging each and every one of you to say that to yourself in the mirror. Because if you can start with self-love, it makes it easier for you to love somebody else. So you just look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, and you just, hey, listen, Jarvis Charles, I love you more today than I did yesterday. And I'm going to love you so much more tomorrow than I do today. And I promise you, as you say that, it's going to put a smile on your face. I'm going to tell you, because you're speaking to you. Then once you get that, and I'm challenging you to do that for yourself for the next 14 days. Now, for those of you who are in relationships, what I challenge you to do is I challenge you to tell that person that you're in a relationship with, only if you love them. Now, if you don't love them, don't say this to them. But I challenge you, at least for a week, that once a day to say to them, hey, I love you more today than I did yesterday, and I'm going to love you more tomorrow than I do today. And watch the mind shift that's going to, there's going to be a mind shift that's going to happen on the inside of you. When you think about your teams that work for you, and this is, I'm telling you, you can apply this to everything. Man, I love my team more today than I did yesterday, and I'm gonna love them more tomorrow than I do today. And I'm chuckling because some of you guys are like, nah, not my team. No, because girl be tripping. He's always late. Listen, some of this stuff you just gotta say it. I'm gonna love this. My team is great. I love them more today than I did yesterday. I'm gonna love them more tomorrow than I do today. You don't even have to say it to them. You can just say it about them. When you're thinking about your jobs, man, I love my job more today than I did yesterday. I'm gonna love it more tomorrow than I do today. Because there are things that are, the thing that's keeping you from performing at a high level is there's a lack of love, a lack of understanding, and a lack of clarity when it comes to what you're doing. Do you realize, and this is for somebody I know it is, do you realize that when you walk into the door or you log on in this workspace that you are the reason other people show up? Do you realize that you are in the position that you're in on purpose because you're supposed to impact people's lives on that level? There are people that you're going to have connections with that nobody else is going to be able to connect with, and they just need you to show up. That's it. They just need you to be there. Whether it's showing up at the gym, whether it's showing up at work, whether it's showing up on the lives, whatever the case is, you got to be there. Over the course of this past 90 days, just about 90 days, I've showed up every single day. I made a commitment and there was a purpose behind it. And it's the consistency, it's the drive. But then I started to understand there are people who need to hear what I got to say. And if I keep it to myself, then I'm not doing nobody any justice. Hey, listen, this is your boy Jarvis. And that's what I got for you tonight. And I need you to take these nuggets and apply them to your life. Take them and apply them to your work. your personal business, your clients, your family, your teams that you run, whatever the case is, you take it and you apply it, but you start with this. Hey, I love me more today than I did yesterday. And I'm going to love me more tomorrow than I do today. All right. Now, if this is like, listen, you guys, if this is doing something for you, if this is moving you, if this is touching you, if this is empowering you, I am an empowerment specialist. So if this is empowering you, then what I need you to do is I need you to go to jarvishenderson.com, and I just need you just to purchase anything. Get you a shirt, a hoodie, a jacket, because every dollar that you spend, this apparel, my apparel, is apparel that is not just apparel, but it inspires and it empowers people and it gives back. So you want to keep this stuff going. That's what helps cover my lives. That's what helps cover the different events that I do. And that's the best way for you to jump in and support. Go purchase something. Go ahead, go get it. I can't wait to get it to you. This is your boy Jarvis. I absolutely love each and every one of you. And I need you to remember that love is not gone. It's already there. It's here. And it starts with you. So start with you and then let that articulate out to everybody else. I hope that you've enjoyed yourself. It's your boy Jarvis, and I'm out. Peace.